There's no science on how many minutes you should be in an ice bath, rather that it should be regular. Key to increase cold tolerance or cold capacity is consistent. It's rather typical that we tend to over challenge ourselves. So when we notice that we're developing in something, it gets easier to be in the cold bath, we push and push our limits. But that doesn't build a sustainable way our cold tolerance. So if we push ourselves too much with different cold challenges, minute challenges, or other type of time goals that we set to ourselves, we might actually increase our panic reactions. Okay, if you're going only once a month to ice bath, or sometimes, it's fine to push yourself because it builds resilience when you do something uncomfortable. And if you do that unregularly, so you also have time to recover and rest after. But if you're doing ice bathing regularly, pay attention that you're doing it progressively, increasing your time in ice bath a little by little, and also allowing yourself to rest. Because when we rest and recover, that's the time when our body also adapts and learns new synapses, builds new muscle memory. So if you're doing ice bathing regularly and you start noticing that your shivering is uncontrolled, it's prolonged, it's long, and you don't recover from cold baths, or you start feeling fatigue, you don't get the same energy boost from ice bathing, you're most likely doing too much or too long cold exposure time. So we tend to forget that if we're doing regular ice bathing, it's a sport. So like in any other sport as well, you have to have different training weeks, you have to have time to rest, you have to have easy weeks as well. If you go to a massage once a month, it's a different massage than the one you do 2 times a week or 3 times a week. So we have to also change our cold bathing routines to the way that we are, to the amount we are actually spending. And when I started ice bathing, I also over challenged myself. I was doing 8-minute ice baths almost 4 times a week, and it was way too much. And I was really lucky that a friend of mine told me that don't do that. You are actually harming yourself more than increasing your cold capacity, because that causes stress to your heart, that causes your muscles to tire. So instead, I started doing long ice baths, less than once a week, and all the other ice baths were short. And I started journaling how I actually feel. Did I get more energy? How my muscles were feeling, and how the overall life was. Of course, it's hard to know what happens and why, because there are so many other aspects in our life that can also impact on your cold tolerance, like if you have stress, or if you didn't drink enough, eat enough, sleep enough. So all those things have to be controlled. If you're changing your life completely, you have no idea what was wrong. So start with the simple things when you're journaling or trying to understand what's your best way to train ice bathing or do ice bathing. What's the things that make you feel better? Even if you're not ice bathing, sleeping is the most important. Being dehydrated is the key to success. Having good energy balance from food is important. After you have those balanced, you can check your ice bathing routines, whether your body is adapted to cold enough so you can do longer distances, or whether the best energy boost is just the 20 seconds, 30 seconds. No matter if other people are doing 1 minute challenges, it's you. You're an individual and you have to know yourself what's good for your body. So trust your own guts, your own feelings. Measure your heart rate. Look on your stress signals, whether you have the mm stress symptoms when going to water, whether you're out of breath, whether you feel numbness, or how your recovery process goes. Those are the key things to consider when you're trying to evaluate whether your ice bathing is in good level, whether it's not overstressing you, and when you start actually knowing what's your limit, what's your level, what's your training week, then you get the best benefits out of the ice bath without looking on other people, without challenging, taking part of challenges that are not meant for yourself. Because in the end, ice bath is the place where we can rest and relax, and there's no mean to compare. It's just you're doing it for yourself and for your own health. So build a sustainable way to enjoy the cold baths. That also increases your cold tolerance. That's also what helps you best with your any symptoms. The reason why you are doing cold baths. Write it down. What's my goal? Why am I doing cold baths? And do I achieve them? If you don't, you have to change the plans. And what to change? That depends on your body. That depends on your way how you're doing the cold baths. I guess it's quite warm outside, but it's a little bit windy. One thing to remember is that the cold bath is not the only thing you have to check. It's also the recovery process. So when you get out of the cold bath, there might be wind, you're cooling down a bit more. We call it after drop because when you get out from the water, your body doesn't immediately start warming. It might continue decreasing the body temperature. So you have to also consider what's your recovery process to know what's the actual time exposed to cold temperature. So the outdoors and dressing up is also counted as part of your cold bath training. If you have a short walk to a warm room or to sauna, then it's fine. I have 30 minutes walk home and I had to dress up in wind, so I'm not staying too long in cold baths. I want to maintain the good feeling and not to have too painful recovery process. So I know now it's fine for me, and I will do my next longer cold baths maybe in 2-3 weeks, depending on how I feel then. Bye! Whew. Good red skin. And there goes our sun back. It was just 15 minutes of sunlight.